I went to the library today, just got back, and I want to show you what I have. So first up is Lover Awakened by J.R. Ward, and I've read this before. This would be a reread. This is one of my favorite series. It involves vampires. It's a paranormal romance adult series, and I read these when I was in college really long time ago, and I used to collect this series. I have since stopped with the series, but this was my favorite one, and as this is the month of love and all that jazz, I wanted to pick up something good and romantic that would fit the theme of February, and I decided to go with this. I haven't reread this in a few years, so I'm excited to get back to it. And this series is basically just about a brotherhood, which is comprised of a bunch of male vampires who are all brothers in a sense, and they're all working towards the same cause. This particular book is about Zadist, who is my favorite brother, and it is also about his mate Bella, and it's kind of about Zadist's history, and he sort of has a traumatic past involving slavery, and a lot of horrible, cruel things have happened to him. And then he meets Bella, who also has had some traumatic things happen to her, and this is kind of their love story, and they're overcoming their pasts and just finding a way to come together. So really enjoyed this one. I've probably reread it about 4 or 5 times, and I'm excited to revisit this world again. February is also Black History Month, so in honor of that, I wanted to pick up some goodies that I've been wanting to read for a while, and this is as good a time as any to get to them. First up, we have James Baldwin's Go Tell It on the Mountain, and I have no clue what this is about. I haven't even read The Dust Jacket, but I really enjoy James Baldwin as an author. I've been wanting to read more of his work this year, and I saw this and I just was really eager to pick it up. Go Tell It on the Mountain, first published in 1953, is an author's first major published work that went on to establish itself as an American classic. Mountain, Baldwin said, is the book I had to write if I was ever going to write anything else. Yeah. Next, I have 2 books by Alice Walker. The first one is The Color Purple, and this is a beyond famous book. I've seen the Broadway musical, I'm familiar with the film, but I've never actually read the novel, and I'm excited to finally get to this. This is the story of 2 sisters, one a missionary in Africa and the other a child wife living in the South, who sustain their loyalty to and trust in each other across time, distance, and silence. Beautifully imagined and deeply compassionate, this classic novel of American literature is rich with passion, pain, inspiration, and an indomitable love of life. Yeah. And I also have In Love and Trouble by Alice Walker. Stories of Black women. Readers of Alice Walker's The Color Purple will find in these stories further evidence of her power to depict Black women, women who vary greatly in background, but who are bound together by their vulnerability to life. Rose Lily, on her wedding day, surrounded by her 4 children, prays that a loveless marriage will bring her respectability. A young writer, exploited by both her lover and her husband, wreaks an ironic vengeance. A jealous wife, looking for her husband's mistress, finds a competitor she cannot fight. An old woman thrown out of a white church meets God on a highway. These are just a few of the seekers of dignity and love whom Alice Walker portrays in this astonishing collection. Next up, I have a classic, and this is Edith Wharton's The Age of Innocence, and I've been wanting to read this for a while. Oh, this is one of the Modern Library's 100 Best Novels of the 20th Century. That's kind of cool. Newland Archer saw little to envy in the marriages of his friends, yet he prided himself that in the tender and impressionable May Welland he had found the companion of his needs. The engagement was announced discreetly, but all of New York society was soon privy to this most perfect match, a union of families and circumstances cemented by affection. Enter Countess Olenska, a woman not afraid to flout convention and determined to find freedom in divorce. Newland, though drawn to the socially ostracized Ellen Olenska, knows that in sweet-tempered May he can expect stability and the steadying comfort of duty. But what new worlds could he discover with Ellen? Written with elegance and wry precision, Edith Wharton's Pulitzer Prize-winning masterpiece is a tragic love story and a powerful homily about the perils of a perfect marriage. This goes along the same lines of the whole, love theme for February. And I just wanted to pick something that I've been wanting to read for a while, a classic that's been highly praised and just not your typical love story. Got a little bit of scandal going on in here. Next up, I have Richard Wright's Native Son. And I attempted to read this novel a couple years ago, but I didn't get very far into it. I think I actually attempted to read it as an extracurricular for one of my classes in college, but like I said, I didn't progress very far. So I think I'm finally ready to take this one on. Right from the start, Bigger Thomas had been headed for jail. It could have been for assault or petty larceny. By chance, it was for murder and rape. Native Son tells the story of this young black man caught in a downward spiral after he kills a young white woman in a brief moment of panic. Set in Chicago in the 1930s, Wright's powerful novel is an unsparing reflection on the poverty and feelings of hopelessness experienced by people in inner cities across the country and of what it means to be black in America. Oh yeah. Next up is a novel that I actually wanted to purchase from the book outlet, but I haven't been having much success with that, just financially and other circumstances. So I saw it at the library and I was very pleased, and I'm glad that I still have a chance to read this novel. And this is Plus One by Elizabeth Fama, or Fama, not sure how you pronounce that. And I believe this is a science fiction young adult novel. It's blurbed by Marissa Meyer, so that's kind of what captured my attention initially, because I love the Lunar Chronicles. I think they are brilliant, and if she enjoyed this, I know that I probably will. She said, enthralled me from the first sentence as gutsy, quick-witted Soul Liqueur launched herself into an adventure filled with political intrigue, family dramas, and romance that gives a whole new meaning to Star-Crossed. The finale left me in the best sort of book daze. This book spares no emotion, and Soul's story will linger long after the last page is turned. So I believe this is kind of like your whole Romeo, Juliet, star-crossed lovers, forbidden love type deal, which, once again, very appropriate this month. Yeah, I'm not going to read the whole dust jacket, but I will link the Goodreads page for this book below if you are interested. In fact, I will link all the Goodreads pages for all of these novels if you are interested. Next, I have a novel that I was highly pleased to see in the library stacks, and this is The Thing Around Your Neck by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And as you guys know, I've been trying to read all of her books this year. That is one of my goals, and also she is one of my 2015 most anticipated authors, reads type deal. Yes. And you know what's funny? I don't even know what this is about. I just know that she wrote it, and so that's why I'm interested. And yeah, I'm gonna need to figure out exactly what's going on with this novel, but I'm really excited to have this. Next, I have a novel that I've been dying to get my hands on as well, and I just haven't had the resources to purchase it quite yet, so when I saw it at the library, I was so happy. And this is These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. And this is another young adult sci-fi romance, star-crossed Romeo and Juliet type deal. It's a night like any other. Aboard the Lyris, then catastrophe strikes. The massive luxury space liner is yanked out of hyperspace and plummets into the nearest planet. Lilac LaRue and Tarver Morensen survive, and they seem to be alone. Lilac is the daughter of the richest man in the universe. Tarver comes from nothing, a young war hero who learned long ago that girls like Lilac are more trouble than they're worth. But with only each other to rely on, Lilac and Tarver must work together, making a torturous journey across the eerie, deserted terrain to seek help. Then, against all odds, Lilac and Tarver find a strange blessing and the tragedy that has thrown them into each other's arms. Without the hope of a future together in their own world, they begin to wonder, would they be better off staying here forever? Everything changes when they uncover the truth behind the chilling whispers that haunt their every step. Lilac and Tarver may find a way off this planet, but they won't be the same people who landed on it. The first in a sweeping science fiction trilogy, These Broken Stars is a timeless love story about hope and survival in the face of unthinkable odds. So yeah, this definitely sounds like a star-crossed deal, which also has like a bit of the Titanic type thing tossed in there. So I'm excited for this. Next up is an author that I have been wildly anticipating and I have been wanting to read her books for such a long time, and that is Zadie Smith, and this is NW by Zadie Smith. This one I'm going into pretty blind. I don't know much about it. I just really wanted to get my hands on something Zadie Smith, and I'm very pleased to begin with this one. And finally, I have 2 graphic novels, and these will be my first graphic novels I've read this year and possibly ever. And the first one is Watchmen, which is a very famous graphic novel, and I'm very excited to start with Watchmen. It's actually one of Time Magazine's 100 best novels. High praise indeed. So yes, very excited, and the graphics look amazing. So yay. Yay indeed. And last, I was actually looking for gosh, what was I looking for? The Last Man, and this is the deluxe edition. Oh no, this is book 4. Oh no! It starts with book 1, but it looks like I mistakenly didn't see that, and I just jumped to book 4. That's awkward. Oh dear. Now I've got to hunt down the first 3 volumes. But it looks like I have The Last Man, the deluxe edition, book 4, which is by Brian K. Vaughan. And we have some other authors here. Pia Guerrera, Jose Marzan Jr., and Gordon Suzuka. I know it's written by Brian K. Vaughan, so maybe the other people are the illustrators involved. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to look into that. Stephen King blurbed it as the best graphic novel I've ever read, so high praise indeed. And I know that this whole shebang is about pretty much the last man left on Earth, and I think it's like him and his pet monkey or something, and all the other men, for whatever reason, have died. I think there was a plague or something on Earth that killed off all the men, and I guess he's the last one left. And I really wanted to read it because I've heard there are a lot of really amazing female characters in this. I mean, there would have to be, because there's only one dude, and he's surrounded by women. So yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, and it looks like I will now have to track down the first 3 volumes, so that should be fun. Not. Oh, Saga. Saga. Yes, I was looking for Saga. They didn't have Saga. And so I saw something else by Brian K. Vaughan, and I was like, yes. We shall begin with you. And that is it from my library haul. I'm very pleased with everything that I found, and with the exception of having to now track down the first 3 volumes of The Last Man, I think I did pretty well. And for February, I kind of like the collection that I have to read. I like that everything's very varied and, you know, from all different genres and things like that, so that should be good. I just wanted to say, don't forget your local libraries, guys. Don't neglect your local libraries. I know for a lot of y'all, you know, the libraries near you aren't that great. Maybe there isn't that great of a selection, or even you may not even have a library where you live. But for those of us who have excellent libraries, you know, in our towns, in the cities where we live, please don't neglect them. You know, libraries might soon become a thing of the past, and I would hate to see that happen. A lot of libraries have closed due to budget cuts and lack of funding and lack of support. And I just want to say that I would hate, oh my gosh, I would hate the day to see when the public library is no longer a, you know, normal thing in America. So if you do have a library close to you, please do support them, either through donations or just by going to the library, by checking out books, by requesting books, and just don't forget about the library. You know, on booktube we get so oversaturated by kind of this materialistic need a lot of us have to buy and own our own books. And I don't think that there is anything wrong with that. I don't find anything wrong with hauls and people buying books and things like that within reason. But I also do feel as though no one really talks about the library. Nobody really utilizes them as we should. And, you know, instead of wasting money sometimes on books that we may not even ever read again or even end up liking, and, you know, with this huge trend going on of unhauling books that people will never get to and books that people have read that they don't like, I can't help but think every time I see those videos, what if they had just gone to the library and checked that book out? What if they had just looked into borrowing that book from the library? You know? So just a friendly reminder, if you do have a library close by to where you live, please do support them. Don't forget about them. And it can be a very satisfying and rewarding experience. And yeah, that's it. Just go to the library. You won't regret it. I promise. You won't. I don't know what I would have done without the library when I was a kid. Moving to America at such a young age and just sort of trying to feel my way around, the library opened up the whole world of reading to me. And it was such a magical place as a kid where you got to go and take out books at no cost to you and bring them back and get more books and discover all these different worlds and amazing stories. So, you know, don't forget about your local library. Catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.